Right. So, thank you everyone who has been following my journey of accessibility, paving the way for differently abled individuals. I can't tell you how much it means to have hit 250,000 views, 400 comments. It's like, wow. People want to hear what I have to say. That is awesome. I'm at my home. This is also my art studio because, as you know, a lot of changes are happening with insurance and grants being available for just for cost of living. So I've had to compartmentalize everything. And today's topic of interest is going to be my medical supplies. So throughout my life, I've had 14 surgeries. I'm going to see if I can find one of the supplies. I've had 14 surgeries, and those surgeries ranged from reconstructing my internal organs using pieces of my intestine, my stomach, my bladder, my appendix. I mean, I'm a conservative woman, but if I were to go a little bit lower with this, you'd see a scar that goes all the way down to the bottom of my body, all over my legs, my hips, everything. So my disease is called sacral agenesis. And throughout my life, I've had incontinence where I've had to use bags. I've had to use enemas. I've had to reconstruct my diet. I didn't want to take pills when I was younger. I didn't like them. So I had to crush them up and mix them with orange juice and saltine crackers and just swallow it because there was no other way for me to pass these pills for my bladder. So over time, I was able to find through research different ways to go to the bathroom. So one of my, and this gets a little personal, the way that I use the bathroom is I take a catheter and I insert it through my belly button. And it's called a Mitrophanoff. And it is pretty different, but it's actually pretty badass. Because if I had to like whip it out or something, I could be anywhere and you wouldn't even know that I'm like going to the bathroom. So to me, it's like the ultimate secret code. It hurts to cath, especially at this moment when I'm not receiving the supplies that I need, which brings me to awareness of this new episode. I mean, you thought that the discrimination ended at the parking and the doors. No, I'm an onion. There's my mobility devices, my mobility supplies, my medical devices, all these things that I need to do on a daily basis keeps getting fumbled and flipped and spun around like I'm in a laundry by all the resources that are supposed to be working for you and they don't. That is the biggest problem that I have is that these officials and these government agencies are supposed to be in your corner, but really it's like everyone is so overwhelmed that they just can't help me and they can't approach me even though I'm like banging on the doors. So I'm using a supply company called J&B Medical. And I've been with J&B since I was 5, 6 years old. I've been with them so long that I have a 4-digit account number. So every time I call and I say that, they're like, wow, my goodness, you've been here for a long time. So this problem is, I mean, I want to pull my hair out with dealing with J&B because when you call their customer support line and you inform them of what the problem is, it's just a regular agent that does the intake. That's a CSR, customer service rep. If you have something like myself, which is a problem that needs to be viewed by a higher official, leadership, etc., you have to wait in a queue where they tell you someone is going to call you back within 48 to 72 hours. Now, mind you, I've been in this queue since last July. I've been in queue since last July trying to get help on this. I've even gone as far as the hospital to get patient services eyes on it. I've spoken to the House of Representatives to get my local leadership involved in it, and still J&B made a huge mistake where they did not ship out my medical supplies. And when I'm talking about a number, I'm not talking about a little number. I'm talking about I've been fighting J&B for an entire year to ship out this many catheters, 1,800 catheters. That's how much of a supply that I am owed and I'm entitled to, and I still haven't received it. And I had gone as far as waiting on the phone multiple hours with Medicare, because you got to go to Medicare, you got to get into their queue, and it's a different person every time. So you call them up, they look at the notes, they find out where you need to go, they send me over for this situation to the DME, which means Durable Medical Equipment Department. So they send me over there, and then I have to inform them of why I'm calling again. All of the information's in the notes. I got to inform them that because I want people to know that I'm disabled. You might see a beautiful, pretty face here, but I hide all my pain behind closed doors. I do my holistic where people can't see me crying because I don't want people to see me crying. So I've done these routes where I've waited on the 2-3 hours. I finally have a senior specialist over on the line with Medicare. We're connecting with the people at J&B Medical, and they're informing, hey, me, the patient, they're advocating for me, Medicare. She needs her supplies. That is why we're on the phone today. Why haven't you sent them out? And they had shared that they didn't have the correct chart notes from the doctor's office. So I'm getting the chart notes from the hospital. I'm reviewing all of this information over the phone. The chart notes are correct. I haven't changed. My situation hasn't changed. It's been the same prescription since I was 19 years old when I had the Mitrofanoff surgery to have my intestine become a neurological bladder. And now I catheterize through my belly. I mean, I don't want to share all this information with everybody, but I got 2 holes for the side where my bags used to be. So this is personal information that I have to expose about myself in order to get the things that I need that were already supposed to be entitled to me. So J&B admits fault, that they messed up the situation, and what I had assumed they were going to rectify it and submit the claim, because Medicare is on the phone saying, you're not going to be charged anything, J&B. Medicare covers 1 year of backlog supplies. That's our policy. You need to submit this form. We looked at the form online, went to the website, talked about it. J&B, Director of Customer Service, after all of the weeks of calling consistently and advocating for myself and chirping, I got multiple people saying to me at J&B, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this. I'm like, yes, you are going to do this, and I'm going to get the right person involved to help me do this, which is the Director of Customer Service, which she's going to come into play here in a minute when I expose the emails that they've been sending to me that they're not going to cover. So she gets on the horn, we figure out, okay, the chart notes were actually there. They were correct. It took me some time to get the notes from the hospital because my primary doctor, the man that has given me miracles to my body to be able to use the bathroom, and when I call an independent way, because before it was a lot more difficult, there'd be accidents, pads, diapers. I mean, my childhood was so difficult growing up. Now that I have what I call this freedom, which is my throne, and then my catheters to use the bathroom, to me, that's freedom. I need these supplies from these companies that I'm entitled to. My prescription says that I get 200 catheters a month. This is what it is. This is what it's always been for almost 20 years now. There's nothing changed in the system. J&B has gone under a restructuring at their facility, but that has nothing to do with me. My health is my priority. That is what I need to be covered. So since then, Medicare informed over the phone a senior specialist, Mr. King, that's really his name, God bless you, said that this is what it's going to take. It's a very easy process. J and B, flat out in an email when I asked them if they completed it, says, no, we are not going to submit this claim for you. We don't backlog supplies. And I wrote back, is that a J and B policy or is that a Barbara policy? Because it sounds like someone's lazy in the director of customer service and don't want to fill out this form for a fault that you've admitted that you did incorrectly. So she didn't write me back. Of course, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go around her and I'm going to contact the compliance team. So I found on my patient documents that the compliance team is listed here, and it says that they are a liaison, that they are a middle person for if there's a concern with my patient needs to contact them. So long avenue to finally get to a supervisor at the compliance team. I mean, these chunks, these little bits, when you're disabled, it blows my mind at how difficult it is to get somebody on the phone with you, to write what you need them to write, to make a complaint. Why does it say that they're a liaison if it takes 3 people to actually get to write a complaint for you? So I got to the right person I needed to get, Cindy. She's a supervisor there. I submitted a form to say I need your help. She contacted me back to release a waiver to move forward with J and B to be able to do this. Now we're in this hand-holding process. It's been over a year. We're in September. This is now July, and I still haven't received 1,800 catheters. I've been reusing the supplies, which has been giving me UTIs, migraines, fevers. I've had to put ice on my forehead to the point where the UTIs were making me feel like I was having a kidney infection. So now I'm strong enough to get all these people involved. I called the house. I reached out and was like, is there anything that you can do to help me? And they've contacted the insurance department, blah, blah, blah. Medicare had shared that the alternative around, if J and B just decides no, is to find another medical supply company, which I've contacted 3 that they've given me. And their vibe check is they feel like they're being thrown in the middle of this as a new supply company. I do too. I also feel that if this company is going to help me, it's going to take a tremendous amount of lift because J and B is not willing to fix their mistakes and clean up their mess. So this other supply company has to now submit a claim on my behalf, a new company. I've had the same one for 20 plus years, and now they are feeling this. And I'm glad that they're being transparent with me because they're like, we feel like we're being thrown into this. And I said, I can see how you feel that way. And I'm also advocating for myself because I can't get them to push through and get this claim going. We don't know what's going to happen in the world. We don't know where supply chains are going to go. I need to hunker down and have everything that I need because if it's not going to be available, I'm not going to be able. I can't go to the store and get these supplies. And it's taken a year for them to clean this mistake up and help me see it through. So I have zero faith that J&B Medical is going to do the right thing and ship me my supplies, file that claim, and let the Medicare contractor make the determination, which will be yes for the supplies since there are medical necessities there. The prescription is valid. The chart notes are correct. The diagnosis is the same. I am disabled since birth. This isn't going anywhere. It's not going to be a magical pill and all of a sudden I'm cured. I'm disabled from my waist down. I have to use devices to go to the bathroom. This is the reality of my life. And I can't get the help that I need from the medical supply companies that are supposed to be put into place for their patients. So now I'm turning to social justice. And my social justice has been showing me that they want to know about day in the life of a disabled person. They want to know what's going on up under the hood of my life. Well, here's what's going on. I have 1 year of medical supplies that I can't touch, that I can't reach, that I am entitled to, but I can't get the right people to turn the buttons, switch the gears, complete that claim, and help me receive it. So this is, again, my caseworker likes to say that this is one step in the direction of a 1,000-mile journey. And I wish it didn't have to be like that. Even with filing complaints, showing them the evidence, giving them the investigation, I'm still stuck with just a no. And that has to be, I have to accept that. I have to say, no, this is the way it is. They made a mistake. It's taken me a whole year to get a warm body over the phone, the director, and then that's it. You escalate me, you tell me to wait, 10 days go by, nobody writes me back, nobody contacts me back. I have to wait on the phone for hours with Medicare to get them on the horn. Something doesn't add up here. This is not adding up. And that is why we need to bring this to light. We need to inform the world of what it is like to have these layers. I feel like you're going to think that this is out of left field, but I feel like a prisoner in my own body, that I'm entitled and I have rights to these things that move me, that get me going. I'm a confident lady. I'm strong. My attitude is unmatched. But when I can't get what I need and it makes me sick and I'm getting infections and UTIs, that's when it's like, this is fucked up. This is not right. I need people to see that this is an issue, and my disability, differently abled, unique ability, I want all of us to rile together and talk about it, because we are here. We are people. We pay taxes. This is what taxes are set aside for, is to help these types of situations be able to be, this is why it's here. These insurances are here to do these things. And in order for us to be able to come together and say how problematic this is, we have to shine the awareness. And I know with my recent videos, the discrimination with the parking and my car being towed and all the retaliation of the property manager of where I live, that does not compare to my urological supplies being withheld, my issues with my wheelchair being approved, my medical device being broken by an airline. I mean, this love of my body, I love my body, I love who I am, I love that I have this gift from God. This life of a disabled person is not easy. I did not know when I was taking this mission from God that this was going to be this big of a scope, but I hear from a lot of people who follow me that I'm one of God's strongest soldiers. I'm one of his warriors. And what that entails is a lot of fighting and a lot of standing up and voicing. So I want my community, my people here, you, to help me. Show me the way. Pave the way. Inform that this is happening. 1,800 catheters is insane. That's a year. I need that year. I need it tucked away. I need it to be together because insurances are changing. Policies are changing. You're reading in the news that things are there's a lot going on. So I'm going to take Coco out. I really appreciate your time today. And if there's any advice that you can offer, please send it to me. God bless. Thank you.